A long time ago, in a forest far, far away.
Lived a bunch of shitty forest gnomes.
Yeah, and then in some other forest, there were a bunch of elves. And it's in their big, shiny white city that we find ourselves today. With the party of adventurers known as the Starfruit Adventurers. Is that still what we're going with?
Yeah.
um, made their way cross continent to find a person who's rumored to be one of the only people in the entire world capable of reviving their disintegrated friend Togar. Upon arriving at the Temple of Eldath, where this individual was known to be, for obvious reasons, a prominent member, they discovered that he had disappeared long ago, 112 years ago, without any trace or any message or any indication of, well, anything about him. He just vanished. And having asked around the temple and gathered what information there was to be gathered from um, one of the clergy in the area, the group is still kind of left with more questions than answers. And it is there, I guess, still at the Temple of Eldath, that we will pick things up. With, I assume, Tormilla realizing that she can do a cool thing.
Not quite yet, but yes.
Okay. Alright. And so here you are, probably still like just outside the quarters of the long missing Father Kios. Still, the lot of you under the supervision of this this member of the clergy that you had been speaking with.
Where are we staying? Or did we not?
You have not established that yet. You just got into town, and you went first to the Vihamen warehouse, and then immediately found your way to this temple.
Ah. Okay. Well, we probably should establish a place to stay for the night.
That'll probably be good. Did we get any recommendations previously, Eric?
Any recommendations? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't think you would really ask any.
Well, I will ask. What's his name? I don't remember. The supervisor that's watching us.
Let's see.
I can't remember his name.
I have a name here that I think might be the one. Maybe. Sewer.
Yes.
Sur.
Yes. Oh yeah, I have it right now. Now I'm seeing it. Yes,
There you go.
the trading company guy.
No, we're
No.
at the temple.
Wait. No, Sewer's the high elf gentleman at the Vihamen Trading Company, isn't he?
You shouldn't be. I mean, I'm looking back at the history and like that. Sewer is like the last name that I put down after telling you the name of the deity and the name of the holy man.
Huh.
So,
Okay. Well, I
pretty
must have-
sure.
Gotcha. Alright, well, I will have to get my notes straight later.
Well, okay, just so we are all on the same page, because quality content. I believe I have the Vihaman guy's name as Thinon.
I-N-O-N? Or
Yeah,
Ian?
Thinon.
Oh.
Do you have anything of that name in your notes?
No. Yeah, I have him as the guard at the tree, actually.
Okay, hold on. My mistake. Although Sewer, I don't think would be the Vihaman guy. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know that you actually got the businessman's name. I don't know. We'll have to like re-listen and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been like forever, and I actually went back to try and straighten all that out, and I realized the episode I don't think is up, or is it?
Should be? I think.
Oh wait. I think it is. I just couldn't load it. That was the issue. It was a
Gotcha.
different thing that I was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Top notch.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, like I said, I'll straighten out my notes later then. I think I missed something.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so we'll say that this priest that you are in the company of is here and at your service to recommend things.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I think being a local, like they don't exactly stay at inns a whole lot, but like I think you would have heard good things about a place known as the Morning Glory Inn.
Morning Glory.
Mhm.
Uh,
What are you just thinking of Laura now?
yeah, how much Laura hates morning glories. Laura thinks morning glories are the most pointless flower ever.
Alright. Well, I guess we should head to the Morning Glory Inn.
Okay. And yeah, it's easy enough. I mean, you would have gotten directions from your contact at the Temple of Eldath. And so yeah, you probably make it there in like 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And you kind of round the corner and see the place. Pretty distinguishable, even from afar. Has like this elegant sort of wooden. I hesitate to call it a fence. It's kind of like a patio setup with like awnings and like visible like water feature type things. It's like this kind of borderline Zen garden kind of feel. And as you walk in past a number of fountains and small like gardening planters and that sort of thing, you are greeted by a white-robed female elf. In appearance, probably parallel to like a 30, 35-year-old in human years, she just sort of as soon as she sees you walk in, she kind of takes a sweeping glance over the group and stands up and seems to almost glide over as she kind of softly says, "Welcome to the Morning Glory Inn. Are you new in town?"
A bit.
Well, then I suppose you'll be in search of suitable quarters for your stay in Balinor. I assume our reputation precedes us?
Well, one of the clergymen at the Temple of Eldath requested or recommended that we come here.
Excellent. Well, it's good to know that those who spend time here are willing to give us such a shining review. And she again kind of looks at the party and she's like, counting you up visibly, right?
Yeah.
And so she says, 3 rooms.
Yeah.
Very well. That will be. She does a little bit of quick math and says, I believe 2 gold will suffice.
I give her 2 gold.
Okay. And taking the money and providing you with keys, she escorts you down the hallway to some nicely outfitted rooms. The building proper, much like most of the city, is carved from light-colored stone, and a number of the features here are actually part of the architecture itself, rather than added in at a later point. So, in the rooms, you see like a bookshelf kind of chiseled into one wall, and just wonderful detailed masonry, kind of defining the aesthetic here. And of course, as would only make sense with the place's namesake, there are ample, not currently flowering plants surrounding the pretty much the whole building, just with breaks for the windows and doorways. And as she is showing you to the room, she says, if your schedule permits, I would certainly suggest that you rise with the sun at least one day during your stay. The morning glories are quite the sight to behold, especially in the morning light of the tree.
And how early is that?
I mean, like, you guys would have a pretty good handle on sunrise. Like, it's probably, like 7 to 8 by the time it's like up.
What are the sheets made out of? It's an
they're-
important question.
Gnome hair.
Well, it is the softest.
Yes, they're all woven from the finest gnome beard hair. No, I don't know. We'll say silk because it's easy to think of and kind of luxurious.
Dear God.
So, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how good is this place? Like, you thinking like a 4 or 5?
I mean, like, I would say 1 to 5. It's like it's a nice 3. Like, it's probably it is designed in such a way as to feel more luxurious than it really is, but there's still not anything that you would like openly complain about.
So it's like that casino
just-
down in Oklahoma. that we stayed at.
Oh yeah, like that first night at the
Mhm.
casino we stayed at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment.
Okay, so it's pretty swanky, but not
Yeah.
super expensive. Gotcha. Okay. What time? Approximately what time is it?
Well, let's see. You guys camped not too far outside of town, so you made your way in, talked to the guard. You had your encounter at Vihaman, and then you went straight to the temple. So it's probably like early afternoon, probably like 1, 2 o'clock, something like that.
All right.
Did I disconnect?
No,
No.
you're good.
We can hear you.
Or did you disconnect?
Oh, hey, I did disconnect for a second.
Aha.
Rip.
You
What was the last thing you heard?
did I disconnect?
Oh, so I didn't stop?
Nope. Everything was good. The only thing
All
that
right,
stopped was
that's
you
cool.
hearing us,
Okay.
which is
Well,
weird.
did you guys respond at all?
To what? You saying did I disconnect?
Well, okay. So last thing I would have said is it's around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So
Okay. Well, I'll look at the group and say, well, we've got an afternoon to burn before I can really. I'm going to reflect on this tonight and get up early in the morning and try something, but I can't really do anything until then. So, do you guys have anything you wanted to do?
Could we see if there's a spice shop?
Sure. I'll go with you to a spice shop.
All right. I
Wait,
leave
you
in
mean
search of a
drugstore,
spice
or
shop.
are you talking about cooking spices?
Cooking spices, of
Oh.
course.
Okay, yes. Of course, then I'll go with you.
Bungo won't run out of drugs for a while.
I will also come.
okay. So
I'm really curious. I want to look at everything. So
that's 4. Or that's 4. That's fair. As I'm looking up spice names that I actually kind of have prepared for just such a thing because I know what Bungdo does. Um, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think we can bypass the whole. Okay, well, how do you find a spice merchant thing? Asking around, you can pretty easily figure out where a lot of the food, spice, and beverage market kind of takes place in Balinor. And you are directed to this little district that kind of runs. It's built up parallel to one of the large canals that you had seen kind of dug into the terrain from your vantage point above when you're on your way into the city. And walking through here, I mean, you can see and smell a number of, I think, as far as all of you are concerned, relatively exotic types of cuisine. Strangely shaped breads, pastries, interesting, kind of almost fruity smelling meat.
Are any of the breads shaped like an animal?
Shaped like an animal? Is that what you said?
Yep.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that some loaves of bread are kind of snake shaped, but not really.
Indeed.
Okay.
Spice stand.
Well, I was just gonna
Yeah.
ask, do we notice, like, do I notice any dwarven foods?
I lost you. What?
Oh.
Yep.
Dwarven foods, like dwarven style?
No,
No, nothing.
none to be found.
Okay, so it's all completely exotic.
Yeah, I mean, to the cultural tastes and predilections of the three people in this group, yes, most
Okay,
definitely.
okay, cool. To the
But
spice.
yeah, so sorry, what?
Oh, I just said to the spice.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
spice!
I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of a delay in chat. Like it's not fucking up horribly, but it's just a little slower than usual. It seems like. So yeah, sorry if I like constantly talk over you guys or whatever.
It's okay.
But yeah, so all right, you navigate this area, passing through the assembled crowds at the street vendors and all that stuff to well, what is effectively another street vendor, small, kind of like white stained wooden cart, with a large rack of like small jars of spices, each of them labeled. And standing there behind the counter, you see a younger elven male. I mean, probably like, again, to make a human comparison, we're talking probably like late teens, early 20s. A little bit darker skinned than the ones that you have dealt with thus far, and has like a black ponytail pulled tight back, and has like this little pencil mustache over his mouth. I think he sees you all like closing in, and immediately you can kind of feel him intently watching you as you make your approach to the spice stand. Though he's not necessarily the loud, pushy salesperson type that you might expect in some other place like Strassa.
I just walk up to him and look at him and say, "Do you have any hot pepper powder?"
He looks impressed and says, "Well, yes, we have a pair of rather spicy pepper varieties." And he kind of swoops around to the front of the cart, and you see him, like taking a finger, tracing over the different labels on the jars, and he pulls out a pair of these vials. One of them containing a sort of grayish ground up pepper, kind of like it's finely ground. I'd call it a powder, and it's clearly labeled wolf pepper. He like pops the cork off of it, and you see him. He just like ever so carefully kind of tilts it and pours like just a few little grains on his finger.
Bundo's face just kind of lights up.
And he actually like he takes the finger and he like wafts it first toward him and kind of like deeply inhales, and then kind of nods, hands you the vial as though he kind of expects you to do the same thing.
I do the same thing.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I would say this is it's pretty spicy. It's like if you were to powder like something along the lines of maybe like a higher end habanero.
All
And
right.
it does have kind of a sweet sweet smell to it as well.
Okay, and then so I nod yes, and then I ask if he has any dried fresh leaf.
Let's see. Yeah, I think he would have like a couple. He says, I don't keep them at the stand, but if you would like to, well, buy in bulk and make my job a bit easier, I certainly wouldn't object. And he says, I assume you'll be local for at least some time.
A bit.
If you provide me your information, perhaps the location where you're staying, I could arrange to have them delivered after closing today.
And how much are we talking? Is this like fresh leaf?
Yeah, and then you finally get around to talking price, and he says, well, how many peppers would you like? And he basically you gather that a pepper is probably like not dried. You're talking about the size of like a habanero.
Like 2.
Okay. Yeah, so he says, well, with the amount of powdered pepper I could get out of that, accounting for a bit of a discount for saving me the labor, I think that would come out to 8 gold.
And is this with the hot pepper too? The wolf pepper or whatever?
I might have misheard you. I thought you were asking about dried. This dried. Did I miss a word?
No, I just meant
That's the thing
the
that can
total of everything.
Okay.
Is it 8 gold for 2 fresh wolf peppers?
Well, 2 freshly dried wolf peppers. Yeah.
2 freshly dried wolf peppers.
And
Okay.
then
That's
what about
that's
the powder?
that would be additional, and that would be probably
Yes.
another 4 gold.
Okay, so 12 gold total.
Yeah.
All right. I hand him the gold.
Okay. And yeah, so you have basically now this vial of wolf pepper, and you will have 2 freshly dried peppers delivered to you. Basically, we'll say as soon as you guys take your long rest for the evening, you can just add those.
Dope.
Cool. And he says, you wouldn't be interested in something a little more extreme as well, would you?
Bungdo's ears just kind of perk up a little bit. What are we talking?
Well, I dabble a bit with Kojiri peppers. Perhaps you've heard of them. You probably
At
haven't.
the name just doesn't really ring a bell. But Bungdo's face looks like extremely curious.
Okay. He goes back around like behind the cart, and you hear like the squeaking of a wooden door kind of shifting, and he's like he's hitting the stash, right? He comes back with like a considerably smaller glass vial with what really just looks like kind of a vaguely yellowish transparent liquid.
Jesus.
And he removes the stopper from this, which you notice is it's not cork. It's basically like it's a like a gasket kind of deal. and he like holds it out in your direction and says, perhaps you should just waft towards you. I wouldn't suggest putting your nose directly over the vial.
I do that. I kind of wiggle a little bit of the air towards me.
Okay. Yeah, this is like holy shit pepper. You know, this is distilled pepper oil.
Can I smell it?
Yeah. So, I mean, same approach. You're not like just full on.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even just doing that, it's one of those things like your nose hairs kind of start to tingle a little bit. You feel even like the beginning stages of like those cold sweats you get when you eat like, really hot food. It's like immediate.
All right, and how much is this?
He says, "How much would you like?"
Um, so does that bottle he's holding look like a lot for something that spicy?
Yeah, I mean that's like it's. Let's see. I would say if you were to take like a Tabasco bottle and cut it in half, like the small Tabasco bottle that you see, like, you know, the super tiny one, cut that still in half. That's what you're looking at. For something this spicy, like, still a lot.
Okay. I ask if he has anything bigger.
He says that could be arranged. Again, I don't keep all of my inventory, especially of this, on the cart, but if you'd like me to add it to your shipment, I certainly could. I could provide you probably 5 more of these.
All right, and the price?
You see him calculating in his head and says, I think for the 6 of them, it would come out to about 60 gold.
Okay.
I lost you.
I said okay.
Stop it. Or start it, I guess. Fuck. Hold on, let me disconnect and reconnect on my end real quick.
Okay.
Hello.
Si, senor.
Hello, hello.
Hey. Yeah,
All right.
I can.
So
Cool.
Bungdo just like quickly hands him 60 gold.
Okay. So yeah, you got some like super spicy pepper oil coming to you as well. Awesome. And just so you know what to write, because this is not as easy to spell as wolf pepper. F. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is. Hold on. That kind of pepper. Kojiri. Fuck.
Oh, you're on the
Technology.
family with Kojiri pepper. All right.
Bungdo says as he just somewhat speaks Chinese.
Becca and I are apparently fighting for bandwidth right now.
Is it like Kojiri oil?
Oh god, now I'm disconnecting.
Yeah, I
This is
believe
a
it
nightmare.
is.
Is this going to be the session where all we do is buy pepper?
Buy pepper. That's great. Haven't played in 2 weeks.
Honestly,
Plays, buys
I-
pepper. That's
as much as I would like to do more, I couldn't be mad about stopping on that.
That is definitely a time to stop if you were if you were to be comedic about it.
It's such a cliffhanger too. What's gonna happen with the pepper?
I know, right?
There's so many uses.
Oh, this sucks.
It's my bandwidth. No, it's my bandwidth.
So hold on, let me check in with Becca and see what's going on with her. Are you able to connect? Oh, you're restarting. Okay, just Discord, not like the whole computer. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just saw you hadn't dropped back in, so I was wondering if you were just like, F it.
So Eric,
Okay, well she's restarting Discord.
so is this like oil or juice? Like what is
Yeah,
it?
this is pepper oil. It's like, yeah, probably several dozen peppers worth of oil go into each one of these vials.
Oh yes.
This is concentrated pepper.
This. Why is it suddenly just turning into garbage?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
We were doing so well. Fuck. Okay, well, you know what? Like, if this doesn't get better in the next few minutes, we should probably call it, because this is just, it's going to be so distracting. Like, ugh.
It's all good. Just see if you can get it working.
Yeah.
We'll chill.
Alright, well, let's take a quick break. See if, I mean, like, I'll stay on voice so that way we know if things